What is fraud? Well, fraud is a deceptive action or procedure of actions which are done to provide the culprit with a gain or result in withhold of lawful rights of a person or community organisation. There are many types of frauds, including credit card, online banking, bankruptcy and tax fraud, as well as many others. The illegal practices can be undertaken by an individual, group or whole business. How are frauds committed? Well, fraud is committed by either hiding the facts or manipulating the crucial information or making false statements. These actions are undertaken with the aim of gaining, which may not be achieved without fraudulent activities. The criminals often have access to information which the victim does not have, resulting in duping the victim. Firms or individuals committing fraud have the upper hand over victims due to information asymmetry. The investment in technology for verifying and reviewing information related to the people involved in the process will result in the prevention of most of the frauds. When are the legal actions taken against fraud victims? Well, the victim has a few options to help them. Often they sue the criminal to recover the duped funds or sue the perpetrator to re-establish rights. Even if monetary loss did not take place, if the following actions are committed by the perpetrator, then legal actions are taken against the criminal. The criminal has provided a false statement in the form of fact. The criminal has full knowledge that the statement provided to authorities was not true. The criminal intended to dupe the victim. The victim provides the evidence that the victim was relying on the information and facts provided by the criminal. And lastly, the victim has encountered a loss in form of monetary loss or loss of basic rights. What is financial fraud? Well, when a person or organisation harms the financial health or deprives a person of their money through legal practices, deceptive behaviour or misleading information, it's called financial fraud. Financial fraud takes place most often, as happens with such investment fraud or identity theft. The money lost due to fraud cannot be recovered under many compensation programs. The funds lost may only be recovered through civil justice. The victim should report the crime to law enforcement bodies or the appropriate agencies at the earliest, irrespective of the expectations of recovering the money lost. The documents required for reporting the fraud are bank statements, tax statements, credit reports, and regularly update information to authorities. When are the types of fraud? Well, identity theft, when personal information like bank or account information, social security number, credit or debit card information, and name are stolen by someone, then identity theft takes place. Through identity theft, the criminal assumes the victim's identity and gains access to accounts and conducts multiple transactions to drain funds. The following are the signs that identity theft has occurred. An amount is withdrawn from an account and the transaction is not undertaken by the owner. The messages or mail from the bank stops as the criminal might have changed the phone number or email ID. Unfamiliar transactions are reported on the bank or credit card statements. Or a data breach takes place in the banking institution or the organisations that the person is affiliated with. Actions that can protect a victim from further loss during identity theft do include going through the Federal Trade Commission or the FTC's website that provide the instructions which should be undertaken by the victim of identity theft and recover the amount and identity. Firstly, the victim should contact the organisation through which the fraud might have occurred, followed by freezing the account and changing the security pins. The theft should be immediately reported to the local police or on the FTC website. Mortgage fraud is majorly carried out by mortgage professionals or real estates. The fraudster might open a loan account by using someone's personal information. In few cases, the loans are pushed to the customers with false information or creating high pressure to buy a loan. These are the signs that a mortgage fraud has occurred. Payments are requested before providing the service. Loan modification is promised in the future. When payment is transferred to third-party account instead of the service provider. The process of the loan buying or property deals is slower. The service providers do not extend complete information or deny answering questions. Or sudden enforcement to sign a document Debit or credit card fraud. Well, after the loss of debit or credit card, the fraudster gains an access to the personal information and utilises this to drain funds. Then the fraud occurs. Amounts are duped, but it depends on the limit of the card. These are the actions which can raise some red flags in the context of fraud. Transactions are not recognised by the card owner. Small transactions have taken place in the past. The transactions might be taken at a distant place or payment is made to an unrecognised organisation. A significant fall in the report in the bank statement. Charities fraud. Well, fake charities ask for the donation for a cause, but instead the money is used by the organisation of a person for their personal advantage. To protect oneself from charity fraud, it is necessary that people check before making the donation. The FTC Commission has listed down the signs which indicate charity fraud may take place. A person from the organisation will give a visit to collect the amount. The organisation forces to make payment only in cash or through wire transfers. The organisation might utilise the name which sounds like a top authentic charity firm. The charity organisation information is not available on the government sites like Charity Navigator. Or the organisation might create pressure to make payment in a short time. A charity organisation may ask for personal information. A Ponzi scheme or investment fraud. The organisation promises the victim a higher rate of return for lower risk. In this scheme, the organisation uses the investment of a new investor to pay a return on the previous. It is also called a pyramid scheme, as new investors' funds are paid to past investors. The fraud intensifies when the new investors are not located by the organisation. We hope you enjoyed this definition. I'm Dean Mitchell reporting for Kalkine. Please stay with us.